hope that you refreshed yourselves and got a couple of cans of Budweiser or something. Oh, wait a minute. Are we still boycotting Budweiser?
Bud Light.
Bud Light, yeah. You know what?
Actually, the sales are still down on that.
Oh, man. The last May 13th, the week of May 13th, they're still down 25% over the previous.
That's a disaster,
week.
you know, in retailing or in merchandising.
And you know what? It's perfect. It is perfect. Really. I mean, when you do something stupid
Yep.
and all of a sudden you're paying the price.
Go ahead. I'm going to lead your segue in here for
Go
me.
ahead.
Target is pulling LGBTQ stuff off their shelves.
Yeah.
Now, I don't care what Target sells. I don't care what Budweiser sells. My question here is to Target is, why? Why do you want to get involved in them kind of controversies in the first place? You're not in the business of selling that particular ideas or that philosophy. You're in the idea, if you're Target, selling merchandise, period. Why do you want to irritate a certain percentage of your customers? Why would Anheuser-Busch, which is now
AB InBev.
InBev, that's the guy that owns it. InBev, Anheuser. Why do you want to take a certain percentage of your customers and alienate them? Because the people on the other side are not going to jump in to fill up that void. They just don't bother. It's just stupid. Business-wise, it's stupid to get involved in these. It was stupid for the My Pillow guy to start getting in that right-wing stuff.
Yep.
He lost half his business doing that.
Yeah.
And just dumber than hell.
Yeah. There's a bunch that sometimes can't see the forest for the trees.
Nope.
You know, I remember talking to one of the guys that worked for me, and he was I had like three inside guys. One of us was remote control. And this guy had the ability to say stupid things. And I had to sit him down. And I said, Joe, when I'm out making sales calls in the field, I can say enough stupid things on my own without you helping me by saying more stupid things to my customers. All right? All I want you to say to my customers is, good morning, sir, how can I help you? And then when he tells you how to help him, help him.
Yeah.
And if you can't get the answer, then you go to Bob. And if Bob can't get it, he's going to call me and say, Bill, you're going to call this guy.
Yeah.
I said, but don't you start freelancing on me, but yet they gave this marketing person free reign to do something stupid. I wonder how much money, when they total it up, how much money she single-handedly cost them.
Untold millions of dollars in business.
But by the way,
two of the executives got put on leave or something.
Yes, she did, and her boss.
Yeah.
And I guess the boss really didn't know about this, but he had to walk the plank too.
Oh yeah.
But so let's just go off the ranch here for a second. I drank beer from the age of, say, 18 up to middle 50s.
Okay.
My late 40s, when I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, and then bingo,
puts a kibosh
that was
on
it.
that.
Nobody liked beer more than I did.
Well, I was a beer drinker too.
Yeah, Miller High Life.
I was always a Miller fan.
Yep, in the tall glass I didn't like it in the cans.
No, I was always that
Yep.
nice clear bottle
Yep.
that they had. Yep.
Mil-
Or on draft. That was
Mil-
the better yet.
Oh, and yeah, but you could find it around here. But out in the Midwest, you can find
find
it
it
every
everywhere,
place on draft. Yeah, it was like Budweiser draft.
Yep.
You know, if you got Budweiser from St. Louis, and you could tell on the
Oh.
bottle, it was the last city on the or the first, I
Yeah,
forget which,
right. You're
on
right.
the list.
It was the first one
But-
on the list. That's where the
yeah,
brewery
that's
came
where
from.
it
Yep.
was brewed.
Exactly.
Now, we got Newark, New Jersey Bud, and it had a skunky taste to it. I liked it. But yet, I got some Milwaukee Bud, and it was totally different. It was very good, but the St. Louis stuff was different than the other two. It's all to do with the water.
Yeah.
We when I worked for the Foxborough Company, we did the entire plant up in New Hampshire, the Budweiser plant up there, and the guys were telling me that the brewmaster told them that it all depends on the water.
Water. That's exactly.
Yeah.
That's where it determines the beer.
Yeah. So that's why they chose New Hampshire.
Yeah.
And as a result, the Budweiser from New Hampshire tasted like water to me. I didn't like it at all. That's when I switched over to
Did you
Miller.
ever, when you were drinking beer, go to the breweries?
Yeah.
Like even like the Busch Gardens
Yeah.
or where you can't buy. Like you go to Busch Gardens in the hospitality suites or a brewery in their hospitality, you can't buy beer that's that good.
I know it.
It is. You think, where does this come from? This is gorgeous.
Draft. Yeah.
It's fresh. It's right.
Yep.
It's perfect. I mean, God, that was good beer.
Yeah. It's a good thing it didn't exist in our backyard.
That's
huh?
right.
But, you know, to carry just the one more point forward here, so I drank beer all that time. I tried lots of different beers.
I did too. For a long time, you couldn't get much other than the majors.
Bud, Schlitz,
Yeah.
Narragansett, Knickerbocker.
We
that
never
was
got
about
those.
it.
We never
around
got those
here.
two.
Yeah.
We got Pabst Blue Ribbon,
Oh, yeah.
and then we got Grain Belt. You guys didn't get that.
Nope.
You didn't get Old Style.
Nope.
You didn't get Special Export. You didn't get they were all G. Heilemann brewing companies. What else was it? Line Kukels.
Oh, yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, their special shows up around
Yeah.
here now.
Yeah.
But if you go to that brewery in Chippewa Falls in Wisconsin, that is the most beautiful
Yeah.
beer. They draft to pull that out in them big mugs and a heavy foam.
You know, another example, too, is Molson up in Canada.
Yeah.
They got 50 different kinds of Molson
Yeah.
beer.
Molson's big.
And up there, the Molsons you get up there is different than the stuff
Yeah.
they
Oh, yeah,
send down
yeah.
here. The Molson up there is beautiful.
I used to you get out in the upper state New York, out towards and
Yep.
find some place that got fresh Genesee on a
Yep.
draft.
Never
that
had
was
that.
delicious.
So I, as I say, drank beer for, I don't know, 100 years. I could not conceive of light beer. It was
No.
like drinking water.
Exactly. I just could not. I never developed a taste for it.
Absolutely. And as a result, I never drank any. Oh, listen, if I went to somebody's house and they
That's a-
stuck a Bud
yeah.
Light or Miller Light or in something in front of me, what are you going to do, you know? But why anybody would drink light beer is beyond me. And then finally, it dawned on me. It's for people that don't like beer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
casual.
Yeah, I'm having a couple of beers with the guys, honey. Man, he's drinking the light stuff, which is the same thing as drinking water. Yeah,
It's very light.
yeah.
But you're right. I never developed a taste for light beer. To me, I used to tell some of my relatives that drank light beer, I said, why don't you just pour that 12-ounce can in a larger glass and throw a glass of water in it?
Yeah.
I said, you double your
Yeah.
you double your beer. You
Yeah.
get the same thing. Actually, it is brewed as a separate entity.
Yeah.
But the ABV, the alcohol by volume, on a light beer is right around 4.42 or so, and that's not a lot different today in the regular beers.
Yeah, they're
Some are around five.
yeah, five.
Some of
Five.
but you can get the craft breweries, the odd.
Yeah, they're up around 6.
You
some
get
of them.
6, 7, or
Yeah.
even 8. But what people don't understand is that when they get up around 6 or 7, they start getting bitter.
Yep.
And that's why they don't
Right.
like them.
The Fasching beer
Yeah.
in Germany takes place during prior to Lent,
Yeah.
and it's a party beer. I tell you what, that stuff will blind you.
Yeah.
I mean, they get the alcohol up around 10, 12%.
And then they had the Bach too. That
Yeah,
was in
the
the
Bach.
that was in the. They used to say that was when they cleaned the barrels out in the spring or
Bottom,
something.
yeah.
Thing. Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't get light beer, so
I don't either.
yeah. Anyway, so what's the next one?
Oh, let's see. What do we got here? Well, let's talk about Mr. DeSantis.
A nice deal. He declared yesterday.
Like that was a surprise to anybody. I mean, there wasn't even there was nobody that was a surprise to.
Even the people that have both been locked in their closets for the last 11
that's right.
years knew that
was coming. What do you think of him?
I think, and I'm stealing something.
Okay, it don't matter.
Okay, some smart guy said this morning on TV.
What the-
He's like Trump light.
yeah, that's a good description.
Yeah, he's got all of Trump's plans.
Yep.
Maybe a little different here, a little different there, but throw a hat over it, and they're both the same person, and he's got a much milder personality.
Yeah, he's not so grating, and he's not quite as controversial. He thinks of more before he speaks.
Yes.
Trump's big problem was he opens his mouth and all the handlers goes, "Oh God, what's going to come out of that mouth?"
Yep. Yeah. I mean, he's got that number 12 shoe in his mouth
All the time,
the
yeah.
bloody time. And you know what? Trump was very subdued in his remarks about DeSantis declaring, and after a couple of sentences, he turned it into a very, if you hop on the internet and read it, a really violent attack on the left wing of America.
Yeah, I read it.
Yeah, you saw it, yeah.
But I could live with DeSantis
Yeah.
because I don't think he's not going to be as extreme as he is now. He's trying to make a point,
Yep.
and he's trying to pull over some of the Trump people. So that's why he's very edgy.
Yeah.
But you know he's a highly educated.
He is. He's a veteran.
Yeah, was
Yep.
I think Annapolis graduate.
Yes.
He was an attorney. Was a JAG. And
Yeah.
he served
And
quite a few years.
decorated. I believe he has a Bronze Star.
But you never hear that.
No, but we will start to hear
Oh
it
yeah, you'll hear it.
on some broadcasts.
Yeah.
The Wall Street Journal.
The only thing that I don't think it's a good idea to pick a fight with Disney, because you're going to deal nationally. People in Kansas don't really give a crap about what you're doing internally in Florida with Disney and taxes and all that stuff. That's they see Disney as Mickey Mouse
Yep.
and good, wholesome entertainment and stuff.
I want to bring
Whether
the
right
kids
or
down
wrong,
there, and I don't want to hear about
That's
the rest
I don't
of
want to
that
hear
stuff.
about it. So
Yeah.
I think that's a fight you want to leave alone. Just
I think, though, that Disney was demanding some things.
Of
that
course.
He just said, he couldn't do it. You know? So,
but you don't have to say, well, maybe I'll put a prison next door to him. You know,
Yeah,
that's you're asking for trouble.
I called, Cashco company out in Kansas. wanted to hire me as national sales manager. They're a small outfit, you know, $9 million, $10 million a year, valves. And one of the selling points that the owner of the company made to me
Yeah.
is they're building a brand new prison right beside us.
Okay.
I felt like saying, what, exactly how is that going to help business?
I don't know.
Well, here's the deal out there. They elevate some of the prisoners to trustee status
Yeah.
and allow them to go out and work.
That's right.
And he was looking at hiring 3 or 4 guys and let the state pay them to come over and work.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He said to himself that was a good deal. But
That's actually not a bad program, you know.
no, it's not a bad program.
It's like a good halfway type transition.
You know, it's a hell of a lot better than on the guy's last day in prison,
Yeah.
give him a pat on the back and $40 and say, go get him, Tiger.
That's right. 'Cause
Yeah.
he doesn't know what he's
No,
walking
yeah.
into.
Oh, man. But, so the Wall Street Journal did a blow-by-blow of DeSantis's legislative record.
Okay.
Now, I'm not going to put you to sleep with it here, but taxes and spending. They say they have. Florida has no income tax,
That's right.
but does have a 6% sales tax. Basically,
Well, that
the
was-
state is fiscally sound because revenue is flush. Education, school choice is going to be universal in Florida. So they each family is eligible for about $8,700, with priority going to households below 185% of the poverty line. The legislature also passed a constitutional amendment which voters could approve in 2024 to change school boards into partisan bodies so elections could have battle lines for Republicans and Democrats. Crime. The death penalty no longer requires unanimity. 8 jurors out of 12 can recommend it, provided that every juror agrees the crime involved at least one aggravating factor. Public unions. Dues may no longer be automatically deducted from paychecks of many government workers, but must be paid directly by each member. Immigration. It's kind of involved, but did they give them marks on immigration?
Yeah, well, he's in a state too that is highly impacted by immigration.
They kind of like say he's a little over the top.
He's making points, and then
Yeah, he's making points with his voters in Florida.
yeah,
Now it's going to be 49 other states.
that's right. That's where you'll see a change when he
Yeah.
starts appealing to the rest of the country.
Abortion. He signed the Heartbeat Protection Act, which bans abortions at 6 weeks with exceptions up to 15, blah, blah, blah. Tort reform. He said, they said that he has improved what they saw as some shortcomings in their tort laws. ESG, they said that they must focus on maximizing returns, not factors related to environmental, social, and governance criteria. He passed that in Florida. The last sentence in Disney, he has a point, but his brawl with Disney has become distractingly personal.
That's right.
Yeah. Guns. Floridians will no longer need a permit to carry concealed weapons. And they just left that alone. And no politician can please everyone, but yet this is a notable record of conservative governance in action, especially for a state that 5 years ago was politically up for grabs. And they pointed out that in 2022 he won by 19 points. So the Wall Street Journal likes him.
Yeah, the Republican Party could do a hell of a lot worse than him.
Oh,
I'm
boy.
saying we don't know who else is out there, but I haven't seen anything yet. Well, it is early, but
Well, there's 4 or 5 people out there, but I mean, they're all polling.
They're all fringy.
4%,
Yeah.
you know? Like Nikki Haley.
Yeah.
Now, she knows, unless she's completely delusional, she has no chance
she's got
to
no
be
chance
president.
in hell. 'Cause
But she's trolling for vice president.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, and so isn't Scott.
yeah. He's another. Yeah, because
one.
yeah,
He's not running
he's
for
set them-
president.
yeah,
he's running for
setting
vice
himself
president.
up as a vice
Yeah.
president.
And would not be a bad choice.
No, absolutely.
What else you got?
Oh, let's see. Oh, so I think since the last show, we had some good news. Rachel Rollins is gone.
Isn't that great news?
I celebrated. I cheered when I saw that. That was the worst pick for that
In
position that you
history.
could possibly come up with.
When she pulled a gun in the parking lot,
Yeah.
all right, and threatened that person, that right then and there should have made them
it.
toss her.
That's right.
But I tell you what, she hung it up immediately because you know
Well,
what?
she knew she was hung.
She also must have talked to them. They talked to her.
Yeah.
And they said, you know, Rachel, if you go now,
Yeah.
we're going to keep our mouths shut.
Yeah, you can just walk away
But
in the distance.
if
Oh,
you
the sun's
want to
coming.
hang on, we got worse stuff
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
drag out. All right? And your personal life will be ruined.
Yeah.
So she took the easy way out.
Yeah, and she should have never been a person like that. Should never. That's the worst possible job you can give that woman.
That's right.
And she is the opposite polar of Trump, but she's got the same ideas. I'll do what I damn well please. Don't tell me what I can or can't do.
Who are you to tell
Tell me,
me
that's
what
right.
to do?
Her whole staff told her, "Don't go to that
Yeah.
fundraiser. Don't do it." Like, "Phew, I'll do what I want."
What do you suppose Brother Arroyo is going to do?
Well, he's the next one down.
But boy, he is hanging on now by his fingernails.
Yeah, he's got to be looking over his shoulder.
He's got to be.
He's got to be hearing footsteps.
And they've got to.
They get him out of there. I don't care what Boston does. That
No.
Boston City Council is the most screwed up bunch of people you've ever seen.
Absolutely right. Terrible bunch. And they're just, this is all. Serving on the Boston City Council is good for one thing. It's a stepping stone to going higher up the electoral ladder.
Or it's, I'm going to sit here, do nothing for 20 years and collect my pension. That's all it is.
Exactly right.
Now,
Yep.
with Rachel, what was it? Go ahead. I got look at something here.
Okay.
Oh, I know what the problem with the news people and Rachel claim, her supporters, on her progressive actions of not prosecuting young criminals and smaller crime, shoplifting, etc. They said, and I got it here, that, well, she was very effective because the crime rate did not go up when she
Well,
didn't.
yeah, the arrests went down because the cops started arresting. They were told not to prosecute.
But the
arrest
crime
him.
rate stayed the same. Well, if you take it out of here, if this drops, this end has got to go up to balance it out. It stays the crime rate rose on some other crimes.
Sure.
That they knew that she was soft on crime anyway. She takes some away and gets more over here.
That's right. Yeah.
So the balance again is, but they looked at that like, well, look what she did.
How compassionate.
How compassionate. She did this and she did that. Oh my God. It's craziness. But if you really think about what pablum they're putting out to you, it's a lot different.
Unfortunately, the average Joe
Doesn't see that.
doesn't see it. No, just, oh yeah, it's a business as usual, and just goes on to reading something else, or listening to something else, or shuts the TV off, or whatever. One little thing I'd like to say we last show, Dwayne and I talked about what we would say at a commencement
Oh yeah.
to college students, advice that we would give them, and drink full blast beer
That's right.
and not light beer. We forgot that one.
Don't get
Last.
old.
Right, don't get old. But I did forget one that I missed that I should have had, and it's kind of like a conjunction to my advice on being curious, and that is be a voracious reader.
Yeah.
Reading produces knowledge. Be curious. Read. It's all there for you. By the way, whenever you need some more books, I got a couple more.
I just went to the
beauties.
library yesterday.
Oh, good, good.
I got a Sanford. I got, I don't know the author of a non-fiction. It looked really good. It was like a modern day Huck Finn.
Mm-hmm.
This guy built a flatboat, a raft.
Oh, wow.
Started out south of Pittsburgh, went down, he was going down the Ohio River, hook up to the Mississippi and go to New Orleans on it.
Did you ever read Three Men in a Boat?
No, I don't think so.
It's a European novel. People that have read it have said it is the funniest book you will ever read
for
in
it.
your life. So I took out a copy of it.
Okay.
I got about 12 pages, 15 pages into it, and that was the end of that. But that was the same idea of three guys in a boat.
Yeah, I think there's 3 or 4 on this one.
Yeah.
And I had no idea that it was a whole society of the flatboats in the old days. So it was a business. It was a lot of young men at least made one trip down the Mississippi.
Yeah, that was an adventure.
And they would build them, and then they'd get to New Orleans down there, and they'd break them up, and they'd sell the lumber and sell the for furniture making and everything else. It was a real. They could do 100 miles a day on those things.
Well, I bet you with the current,
Yeah, and exactly.
helping out, providing the majority.
They had religious boats, flat boats that would make the trip down, and at night they would stop along the sandbanks and hold revival meetings.
Wow.
They had bar ones that had dance halls on them, and people would. They had brothels. It was a regular society.
They were far advanced.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Yeah. I got one other
Okay, go ahead.
insert here. Have you ever seen the ads? Of course you've seen them. Go low.
Yeah. Go
I've
along.
lost 99 pounds just by looking at the package.
I tried it.
Well, let me just finish what
ahead.
I'm going to say, and then I'm going to say to you, is that your experience too?
Go ahead.
Because they flash out the fine print at the bottom of the ad, and they don't have it there for more than 4 seconds.
I know where you're going.
But it says, go low, achieve the certain weight loss, when accompanied by a strict diet and a regimen of exercise.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They sell pills with it. And all you're getting is high potency vitamin pills with a lot of proteins in them. They are not diet pills. They give you it comes with a diet book that's bigger than a steno book. It's got recipes, it's got things, and they emphasize the physical part of the whole thing. If you just took that book and if you followed that, you'd lose the 100 pounds.
Of course you would.
It's a starvation diet.
Yeah.
I mean, that thing is rigorous. It is tough. And the exercise program is, I mean, you'd have to have a trainer over you with a whip to follow that
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. And the diet is like in my front yard at night, the bunnies eating the grass.
Exactly.
You could go out there and with the
Yeah.
bunnies.
Oh yeah.
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 Ah, what else you got?
Well, everybody wants to try it. Don't buy it. I've got the book.
There
You can
go.
have it. Oh, let's see here. I see Cambridge is going to have free preschool for all 4-year-olds and most 3-year-olds. As if Cambridge wasn't expensive enough.
Yeah.
That it said that kindergarten in Cambridge, a private is between $20,000 and $30,000 a year for send a kid to it. Now they're going to take all preschool for 4 and 5-year-olds, 4-year-olds, 3 and 4-year-olds. Where do they get the money?
I don't know, but this is entirely driven by 2 parents working and nobody to stay home with the kids.
That's a good point.
And the price of nannies today
Oh my God.
is straight up.
Yep.
By the way, the cost of babysitters.
Oh my God. When I was a kid, I used to babysit in the neighborhood. You know, they'd be going out for the night, and they'd call me, and I'd come over there, and you know, you always left you stuff to eat, and all you do is sit there and watch TV. And one time they were getting 25 cents an hour.
Yeah.
But usually they give me a couple of bucks, so it was always.
How about $20 an hour?
Yeah, that's crazy. I was shocked to see that.
But it's substitute parenthood. I mean,
Yep.
do the parents ever see the kids?
I don't know. I don't. In some cases you don't. They don't.
Yeah.
I know for a fact they don't. And
And then we wonder why the kids go off the rails.
we felt sorry for this girl when Craig was out in Amherst or UMass Amherst.
Yep.
He met a girl from Texas. And their dorms are mixed, you know, they're boy, girl, all that. And her father owned a string of nursing homes, and her mother was a state senator in Texas, not national, state. And honest to God, that girl was the loneliest girl, wealthy as hell. I mean, Rolex watch, everything. She could go any place she wanted. She had credit cards that could buy anything, except she didn't have parents. She had parents, but they didn't have any, just go away, go do what
Yeah,
you want to do.
yeah.
And she was so lonely. We invited her to, Craig was friends. I think they were kind of dating. I guess I don't know what. You don't know with college kids what the. But we invited her for Thanksgiving, and I don't know what happened at Christmas time, but she kind of latched onto us as parents. But I really felt, Monica did too. I felt sorry for her because I said to her, you know, and not to this girl, but to Monica, we both talked about it. You know, that kid is lonely. That kid, you know, we're total strangers, and she would.
Yeah.
We
And
could
she
say
latched onto you like a leech.
like we were parents.
Yeah.
And if we would have said to her, "You want to move in with us and just live with us?" Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
She would have. But she was so desperate for.
Yeah. And you really feel sad for a kid
Yep.
like that. How prepared is she going to be when she graduates from
I
college?
don't know, but
You know what? She's going to marry the first guy that says,
yeah, that's a
"Do
problem.
you?" And she'll stop him right there and say yes.
Or you'll see how much she's worth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the other side.
Yeah. It was sad. I felt sorry for her.
Yeah. And to what end, Dwayne? To what
Dwight
end?
Schrute.
To what end does this serve the parents? Because you know what? You can accumulate all the bloody gold you want,
Yep.
all the bloody property you want, all the trappings of wealth, and when you die, you're not taking any of it with
Nothing.
you.
Not a penny.
Not a penny. And not only that, but becoming a millionaire sometimes is a dirty proposition because you have to do things that may not be totally illegal, but are certainly immoral,
Unethical.
unjust. And you gotta take advantage of people,
Absolutely.
outsmart people, hoodwink people.
I've always said, when we watch these things on TV about these philanthropists that
Yeah.
got billions and billions of dollars. And I said to Monica, I said, I'll bet when he was making his money and he had a steel factory or something, he wouldn't give a guy a nickel over minimum
Over
wage, or
minimum
he'd
wage.
screw him if he could. You know?
9 ways to Sunday.
9 ways to Sunday, and now he's got billions to give away. And everybody says, "Oh, what a wonderful man he was." Yeah,
Yeah.
but he earned that on the backs of a
believe
lot of people.
You better believe it. Yep. Well,
I know that sounds like a communist, but
Well,
it's true,
listen,
though.
It's the truth.
yeah,
All right. I saw people in my lifetime cut more corners
yep.
for that right
Oh yeah,
there.
absolutely.
I'm not saying they would have pulled out a knife and slashed your throat,
No,
but I'll tell you what, if it came down to you versus them, they would hooray for me and screw you
oh yeah, absolutely.
every single day of the week.
Yep. Well, we lost a good, I think, a good entertainer this week.
Who's that?
Tina Turner.
Yeah. I've
I
never
like-
been a fan of that kind of music.
I always liked her music.
Yeah.
She was married to a bum.
Yeah.
He lived off of her
A
success.
lot of that going around.
Yeah, he lived off her success. He beat her, and I don't know why she stayed with him, but
You know,
I don't know a
that's
lot.
another good question,
yeah.
too.
What motivates people to stay with people that treat them like that?
Yeah.
Now, one big thing I think we got to look at
Yep.
is damn budget impasse.
Well, that's another thing, isn't it, huh?
Two guys, two grown men, cannot get something done that's good for the country one way or another. Each one trying to make the other one look bad and we're going to pay the expense in the end.
Do you know something? I have said this time and time and time again. But I'll tell you, if you and I went to Washington and sat
ahead,
down with those two clowns,
Yep.
President Biden and McCarthy there, whatever the hell his name is,
Yep.
and we had the whip hand, we could put together that compromise
Of course you could.
in 15 minutes, well, maybe half an hour. Maybe there's a lot of other wrangling needs to be done, but we could make decisions sitting there.
They're just sitting there trying to make the other side look bad, regardless what the consequences. I wish we could dictate and tell both of them, you've got to 5 o'clock this afternoon. If this isn't done, we want your resignation.
Or,
You're not to be president, and you're not going to be speaker anymore.
here's the locked room. You're going in.
Yep.
All right? We want you out of there by 5 o'clock. If you don't come out of there, well, guess what? We're going to open the door and pass your supper in because you're staying in there until you get it pounded
right.
out. And you know what? 15 minutes later,
It
they'll
would
be
be
coming
done.
out.
Yeah.
But
We've got to the point now, it's not just this. Each side is trying to make the other side look bad, regardless of the consequences. The attitude is, I don't give a damn what happens to the country or the American people, as long as he looks bad.
But what is unsaid, Dwayne, is that is the picture. I'm fighting for you.
Yeah.
I'm fighting for
Yeah,
you.
both of them tell you the same thing.
But the secret, the dirty secret is they both know that on the final day before the kielbasa hits the fan,
Kielbasa, all right.
before that happens, we'll sit down and we'll negotiate. And our staffs will have it all negotiated out, and we will, both of us, hold our nose and sign it.
That's right.
And this is, you know what? As a younger man, I would take any money I had on the sidelines
Yep.
and pound it into the stock market right now in the
Go ahead.
aggressive stocks.
Yep.
Because this thing is going to go whoop when that thing is signed.
There's so much pent up
Yeah.
finance available.
Oof.
It's going to skyrocket.
It could trigger the next major bull market.
Yeah.
And you know, I've always been a buy and hold investor. I don't ever want to miss that upturn. But there are people sitting on the sidelines waiting for, I don't know, lightning to strike or for their eyes to be opened or whatever. But invariably, they miss the first 20 or 25% up before they say, uh-oh, maybe this is for real, maybe I better pile in. And then they go in slowly and dollar cost average in. And before you know it, the market's up 40%, or some of the stocks are. Maybe
They're
not the
buying
whole
in
market.
they're buying in at the high end.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. And they lose the whole initial. Anyway.
This is a gripe, and I don't care if it's Memorial Day, Veterans Day, or what it is. All these companies that have Memorial Day sales or Veterans Day or Memorial, just let's stay with that, but don't do anything for the cause.
Yeah.
Oh, big Memorial Day sale. Yeah. Well, what is Memorial Day? It's not so Macy's can run a sale.
Right. That's absolutely right.
If you want to run a Memorial Day, give 5% of the proceeds to some organization that functions on Memorial Day.
Yeah.
But they don't. They just use it.
Do you ever go to Kohl's in Walpole?
What? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We buy a lot of stuff
Okay,
at
now,
Kohl's.
so you know that on, I forget, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, one of them is Veterans Day. You get the discount.
Yep.
And the other one is Elders Day.
Yep.
So you get a discount that day.
You never buy anything at Kohl's at full price
Never.
because next week it's going to be on sale.
Never. My boys are amazed when they watch me. But I always find the oldest cashier. And I always say the same thing. You got any special discounts for the elders that you can give me? And they've got.
They got the little things that they can beep on. And
Yeah, they have got the barcode. They got a blank barcode on a piece of paper like this, and she goes, boop. Oh yeah, there's a 15% discount for you.
Yep.
But you can only do that. I find it's best to do it with an elder, another elder.
Yeah, there you get some sympathy there.
But you couldn't. Anybody that goes to Kohl's and pays full price, man, I want to sit down and play poker with you.
I prefer when we have to go to Kohl's in Walpole because out in the lobby there's some chairs.
Yep.
Now the one in Mansfield, there's no chairs there. I got to stand or I got to go get back, sit in the car.
Yeah, I like the Walpole store. I have something here I'd like to squeeze in before we cash out.
Let's go ahead, Lord.
Now you got to bear with me and be patient with me.
Well, I
on
can't
this
guarantee
one.
that, but go ahead.
If you ask people to donate to a charity, they likely will give more if you suggest a range of possible donation amounts.
Oh, you see that all the time. You get these bigger letters. They got check of 10, 20, 30, 40.
That is one takeaway from a recent study which compares charity fundraising results when people are given a menu of options versus an open-ended request for a contribution. I'm going to skip a little here. Half of the people, it's like 900 people, half of them were given both choices. The ones that they found almost 80% of the group that was given the menu to donate chose to donate some part of the 25 to charity, whereas 67% of those, given the open-end request, chose to donate.
Yep.
So that's a big spread. That's 12.5%. Most people want to give the right amount, but determining what amount is right is cognitively taxing. So instead, they choose to give nothing at all.
Yep.
So you got two groups here trying to figure out what's the best way to do it. They did it again using little different parameters, but the open-ended question, again, the donation rate was nearly 70%, where the one that was given three groups was more than 80%.
Yep.
It really does seem that supplying a range of suggested donations helps donors resolve the critical question of how much to give.
Absolutely.
And that in turn facilitates greater donations.
That's why you get the 10, 20, 30, $40 on it. Now, if you ever used to get them, and they'd ask for 7 on one of them. Well, I never give them 7. If I wrote my check, I write them for 20. So the next ones I started at 20. Somewhere along the line, they said, don't give this guy the $7 option, give him the $20 option.
Yeah.
You know what else they're doing? When you check out now, if you're a restaurant, and you go to pay,
Oh, yes.
and it comes up, you want a 15, 20, 25, 30, 35% tip. You just touch it, boop. And people up there are afraid, not afraid, but uncomfortable by not going at least 20, 25%.
I know.
And that's a psychological.
It is.
Another one, okay, 10. Another one that's very effective. You notice you're getting more and more mailings now with a nickel in them.
Oh, yeah.
I got one with a dime the other day.
Oh, okay.
That's the guilt factor.
That's right.
God, he sent me a nickel on this thing. I feel uneasy just taking that nickel. I said, well, I'll send him something.
Not me. It goes right in my coin jar.
Yeah, I got a little
And I don't
thing. I
even
just throw
look
them
at
in
the
there.
rest of it.
Or send you something. That's why they started sending these stickers and all this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It's a guilt factor.
Yeah.
It's like a.
So now comes my punchline. Now, given what we have learned in this article, let's ponder this question of mine, and that is this. As we gallop towards AI, artificial intelligence, what if we ask the computer to develop a really deceptive, devious way to present questions, and it does? How do we defend against this? If I'm correct about this, is more to come afterwards? AI could be used to grind more money out of us.
Oh, sure.
So,
People react to certain stimuli or
yep,
urgings of some type.
yeah,
Yeah, they've done that for
yeah,
since psychology was around.
yeah. So an innocent article like that,
Yep.
I can see where this is headed.
Yep.
It's scary.
Oh yeah. But
What
that little token that they put in these things
Yep.
pays back so many times.
Oh,
Or a pen. We get one from the Doctors Without Borders.
oh yeah.
And it's a decent pen. It just doesn't last very long.
No,
But anything to obligate you
that's
is
right.
what they're trying to do.
Listen, if they give out a whole bunch of nickels and one guy writes a check for $20,
That's right.
how many nickels is that? 400.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That,
So you
that would
can
have been.
afford to do it. Yeah. What else you got?
Oh, let's see here. Student loan cancellation. One of my. Just irritates the living hell out of me.
You and me both.
You're giving money to people that don't, a lot of times, don't really need it. You don't make your
Most of the time, don't need it.
don't need it, and you're giving people debt exclusion, payback at taxpayers' expense to some kid of a multimillionaire going to school or a millionaire. It takes a, if you're going to do that, why not just take it debt out? Right now, kids are taking loans out with the anticipation that there's going to be forgiven.
Yeah.
And not only that, but you're canceling a loan from a kid. I shouldn't use the word kid, but I will.
Person.
A person that chances are is going to make a above average salary when he gets done with school, and you're canceling his debt.
And you have put 2 kids through college and paid for the whole damn thing
Or if-
by refinancing
Or
your
if
house.
you didn't even you didn't have any kids, or you didn't go to college.
Yeah.
Why should you or me
Have
be
to.
responsible for,
For some rich kid,
or even a not so rich kid?
Not so rich
kid that's
kid.
going to come out and have the potential to make a lot of money.
yeah,
It doesn't make any
it's unfair.
Unfair is exactly what it is.
No, I couldn't agree with you more. Well, give me something else.
All right, let's see here. Go back to some of the. Cell phones in schools.
Beautiful.
I see 5. The state education director, I don't know what his name is, a heavy-set guy, is proposing that all schools in the state ban cell phones for students. They're not needed.
They're not needed is right.
They're not needed at all.
But one of the things one of the parents said is, well, what if I want to call my daughter and just make sure she's okay? What, are you going to go on the honeymoon with the daughter
Yeah.
too?
Yeah.
I mean, you two joined at the hip? For crying out loud. It is absurd.
Yeah, because the
Absolutely.
new studies are showing that
Absurd.
kids that get involved in like the social medias and the social whatever they call them some of them are having mental problems too from them.
The other thing too, Dwayne, is those things encourage bad behavior,
Oh, absolutely.
ignorant behavior, arrogant behavior. People walking around, this really bugs me. People walking around on speakerphone. Listen, Alice, I told you not to bother me with this crap, you know. Dwayne, you knucklehead. And they're having a domestic quarrel all right, in the middle of a shopping mall.
Yeah.
Do they really think we want to hear that crap?
I know it. You don't. I don't care what your personal
No,
life is.
I don't.
But-
You know, and I'm sorry if I'm being very offensive here.
Well, you are, but it's okay.
I have seen one woman do this a couple of times. She's parked at Norfolk on her speakerphone, sitting in her car, and I've gone about my business, done whatever I was going to do, come back, she's still on the speakerphone, and you can hear her all over the whole bloody
Oh, yeah,
parking
yeah.
lot. I mean, really? Do I want to hear that she took Fifi the dog to the vet to have his nails clipped? I mean,
Yep, you can't.
what is it with people?
You can't get away from them.
No.
And two, the phones themselves are a good idea, but they become something that they weren't invented to be.
An emergency device.
Yeah, or a phone.
Or a phone.
The use of that phone as a phone is so far down the list.
Oh, yeah.
Now I got one. I use it as a phone because I use an iPad, and I do go online a lot, but I read the news and
Yeah.
you know, everything else, what the stocks are doing, but I don't go on social media. I don't even know how. I don't
know how either.
I don't care. I don't want to talk to anybody. You know, my granddaughter she's good about texting me. I don't know how to text anything that's not in there already. But like, she was at the concert, and she's texted me all kinds of stuff. Of course, I don't have my phone on. I never have it on, and I don't have my iPad on. Well, the concert was Sunday night. I think Tuesday I finally opened it up, and there, Grandpa, can you hear this at your house from us? It's wonderful. Let me know what you think. You know, is it traffic? Huh? She's asking me all these questions. Well, I don't look at it for 2 days, so it
I
doesn't matter.
know. In fact, I discontinued my email because I wasn't looking at it often enough. And it
I don't
was
get-
piling up, and you end up with 105 messages. And I said, I can't stand this. And if there was a button to push to get rid of them all at once, I'd do it.
There is.
Oh, see, I didn't know that.
There is.
Oh. Yeah. So as a result, I use Susie's, and she yells at me.
Well,
Well,
at least
you signed up for another stupid thing on my email. Yeah. Sorry, honey.
you can unsubscribe to them, but if you do them one at a time, you'll take
Oh,
you
it drives me nuts, yeah.
take you forever.
Then I start reading them because I don't want to delete something that's important. And then I spend the next 3 hours doing that. Oh, yeah.
It's a
Well, Dwayne, another successful show.
Emmy awarding.
And I never even got to, I had 4 pages of notes. Never even got to one of them.
Well,
Well-
they'll keep. They're not going to rot. They're
That's right.
going to blow away.
And we got rid of these over here. So,
Well, folks, today's the
Folks.
day for the Celtics.
oh,
I know.
do or
by
die.
the time you're watching this, you'll know what happened.
Yeah.
We don't yet. It's going to be 1 and out, or go on and play the game 6. Yeah, 4.
And then
5.
it'll be 1 and out.
Yeah.
And go to 7, and then it'll be 1 and out. They've been horrible.
Oh,
So,
an 8-seeded team should not be busting a 2nd-seeded team like that.
nope. Well, folks, thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the show. And we'll do it again next time.
All right.
Take care.
Let us know.